Maps to the Stars sounded pretty amazing, and it certainly has a fantastic cast, very well acted. There are a lot of things about this that I thought were really great, but unfortunately, I feel like the narrative is really poorly executed. It's a very artistic film, very creative. I feel like it's filmed in Hollywood, about Hollywood. It's very kind of self-indulgent, but it works in some respects. I will talk about why I didn't think it worked in others without giving any spoilers, because I think I do recommend it if you're into certain types of films. In fact, if you're into films, I recommend it. If you are a film buff, if you're a Hollywood fanatic, you will get something out of this. If you're just an occasional film watcher, maybe not so much. I think there are a lot of references in this that would probably just go over your head and make you wonder what on earth is happening. So this was released in 2014, directed by David Cronenberg with a screenplay by Bruce Wagner. And as I said, it has an incredible cast, including Julianne Moore, absolutely amazing, and I love her. Mia Wasikowska, John Cusack, Olivia Williams, Robert Pattinson, and the absolutely fabulous Carrie Fisher. I will say before going any further, Carrie is the only reason that I initially watched this, the only reason I'd heard of it, in fact. And she's only in it for a few minutes, but some of the characters talk about her quite a lot, and particularly Havana, played by Julianne Moore. She's always talking about Carrie and praising her, which I thought was weird, but pretty accurate, in the sense that this is a film about actors, artists, living and working in Hollywood, so of course they're going to be talking about other friends, associates, people within the industry, because why wouldn't they? So in that respect, I think the dialogue is actually pretty great, and I have a lot of love for the delivery of a lot of the lines in this from everybody across the board, but I think Julianne Moore just gave the standout performance. I also think Mia Wasikowska was brilliant as Agatha. I hate the character. I cannot stand Agatha as a character. There's something about her that really irritated me, but the performance was very, very good. So the narrative itself is a bit peculiar. I'll read the description from IMDb because there are no spoilers. It's very basic. A tour into the heart of a Hollywood family chasing celebrity, one another and the relentless ghosts of their past. Basically, it's a film, as I said, filmed in Hollywood, about Hollywood. And there are constant references to other actors, producers, directors, film festivals. There are a lot of things mentioned that if you're not really a fan of the film industry and you just like to watch something that's a bit entertaining now and again, I think a lot of it will just be irrelevant. So it is a film by film fans, for film fans, absolutely without any question. I don't think it was entertaining, in the sense that I didn't really enjoy the narrative. We have a lot of very outrageous characters, which I think is over the top, and I think that's why I didn't really get on board with it, because a lot of the situations are just overly dramatised. They're far too dramatic to be believable. Now, I'm not saying these things don't happen, but it just seemed a little bit excessive. Yes, people in Hollywood have problems. Yes, there are issues, but this was just a little bit over the top and far too dramatic that it just felt so unrealistic that it was hard to engage with the story. So I'm not going to say what happened. I'm not going to pinpoint anything specific, because I don't want to spoil it in case you do wish to watch it. But the narrative was just all over the place. It was really quite bad. As a narrative, as a story, not good at all. As a film, very artistic, very creative. It feels like it was somebody's passion project. And as I said, there are a lot of references to other films. So for film fans, it's going to have some benefit. It's well acted, very well acted, well shot, nice settings, nice scenery, good mix of locations to keep things going. It's just the narrative. It's all over the place. It goes back and forth. We don't stick with certain characters long enough to get to know them. So when they reappear again, I've lost interest. I don't remember what they were doing. I might not even remember their names. So if they were trying to create a great narrative, they failed. If they were trying to create an artistic film that feels like an indie film, but which had what I believe was a pretty, Julianne Moore and Robert Pattinson are in it. Of course, it's going to have a big budget. It's not a good film as a piece of narrative, as a narrative. As a piece of Hollywood, it has its merits. It had a budget of 15 million, apparently. Clearly none of that went on the narrative. But the casting was good, the acting was good. Visually, it was really quite stunning. The acting was phenomenal, very well cast. If you're looking for a narrative, don't go near this one. If you want something that gives you an interesting look at Hollywood and has Carrie Fisher as Carrie Fisher, this one could be pretty good for you. It has its moments, but it just did not live up to my expectations.